Good morning, dear students. Welcome back again with the next section of lesson number 3, Life Process in Living Organism, part 2. Today we are going to start with a new subtopic called as Gamete Formation. Now both the gametes, sperm that is male gamete and ovum that is female gametes, are formed by meiosis. Sperms are produced in the testes of men. From the beginning of maturity till death. 2 to 4 million immature oocytes in the ovary, female fetus at the same time of the birth. Oocyte matures and is released from ovary every month from the beginning of maturity up to the age of menopause. Menopause age is approximately 45 years of age. At the age of 45 to 50 years, the hormones controlling the functioning of female reproductive system either stops or becomes irregular, leads to menopause. That was about the menopause. Now we'll be moving towards another subtopic that is called fertilization. The formation of zygote by the union of sperm and ovum is called as fertilization. Semen is ejaculated in vagina during the copulation. Millions of sperms start journey by the route of vagina to uterus, uterus to oviduct and then fertile with only one ovum present in the oviduct. An ovum is released every month from the ovary. So millions of ovums there earlier, they got degenerated, and at last only 400 mature ovum is remaining. From that, every month one ovum is being released. "400 oocytes are released up to the age of menopause, that is from 10 to 17 years up to 45 to 50 years. The remaining oocytes undergo degeneration. They degenerate, they die. Menstrual cycle. Now, what is menstrual cycle, which is occurring in the female body? Female reproductive system undergo some changes at puberty, and those changes repeated at the interval of every 28 to 30 days. This repeated change is called as menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle is a natural process controlled by 4 hormones. Now those 4 hormones are FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, then LH, luteinizing hormone, then estrogen, and the last one is progesterone. Now, how these hormones play an important role in the process of fertilization. One of the several follicles in the ovary starts to develop along with the oocyte present in it under the effect of FSH. FSH symbolize follicle stimulating hormone. So follicle stimulating hormone is supporting one of the ovary ovules to develop. This follicle secretes estrogen. Endometrium of the uterus starts to develop or regenerate under the effect of the estrogen. So after the secretion of hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, with the help of which estrogen is secreted, and with the help of the estrogen, endometrium starts developing or regenerating. First time it is there, then development will take place, and if it is more than the first time, then the regeneration take place. Meanwhile developing follicle complete its development, it bursts under the effect of luteinizing. If the development of ovary is completed, then it starts bursting out. Now the bursting takes place with the help of another hormone that is called as LH, or we call it as luteinizing hormone. And oocyte is released. This is called as ovulation. Remaining tissue of the burst follicle forms a corpus luteum. So the partly burst out called as ovulation. Remaining, it is converted into another new term, we call it as ovulation. Partly release is called as ovulation, and remaining part we call it as corpus luteum. The corpus luteum starts to secrete progesterone. The endometrium gland secretes their secretion under the effect of progesterone. Such endometrium is ready for implantation of embryo. If oocyte is not fertilized within 24 hours, the corpus luteum becomes inactive and transforms into corpus albicans. So within 24 hours, if the oocyte is fertilized, then or mixes or unites with the sperm, then fertilization takes place. And if it doesn't happen so, then it results to, you can say, uh, incomplete fetus forms out, and it is released out, burst out, and comes out in the form of bleeding. Mean- Meanwhile, developing follicle completes its development. It bursts out under the effect of LH, that is luteinizing hormone, and oocyte is released. This is called as ovulation. Remaining tissue of the burst follicle forms corpus luteum. Corpus luteum starts secreting the progesterone. The endometrium gland secretes the secretion under the effect of progesterone. Such endometrium is ready for the implantation of the embryo. If oocyte is not fertilized within 24 hours, the corpus luteum becomes inactive and transforms into corpus albicans. Due to the secretion of estrogen and progesterone stops completely. So when the fertilization does not take place, the secretion of estrogen and progesterone is stopped. Endometrium starts to degenerate in the absence of these two hormones. Now, since the secretion of a hormone is stopped, therefore, development of endometrium does not take place. Due to this secretion of estrogen and progesterone stops completely. Endometrium starts to degenerate in the absence of these two hormones. Tissues of degenerating endometrium and unfertilized ovum are discarded through the vagina. This is accompanied by continuous bleeding for 5 days. This is called as menstruation. Unless this oocyte is fertilized and embryo is implanted, this process is repeated every month. So till the fertilization does not take place, every month this process continues. If the embryo is implanted, repetition of the cycle is temporarily stopped. In case sperms fertilizes with or unites with the ovum, then fertilization takes place, implantation takes place at the endometrium. Then for temporarily the process of bleeding or menstruation is temporarily stopped. If the embryo is Implanted repetition of the cycle is temporarily stopped till the parturition and thereafter the period of breastfeeding. Menstrual cycle is a natural process and women experience severe pain during this period. Severe weakness is felt due to heavy bleeding. There is a higher possibility of infection during the overall period. Due to all these reasons, there is a need of rest along with the special personal hygiene when menstruation is taking place. So you have to be very much sensitive under that period when the menstruation of the female is taking place. That's all for today. Reviewing part will do it in the next video. Till then, have a great day.